not. It's a shame. They made it this far, right? That little cluster, that tiny little cluster. Oh, hey, they were up here. Look at this. They're up here on the fondant.
Oh, interesting. All of these hives has so much food in them. You think they're just up here?
I think so. That's what
I don't see anybody eating anything. Although I do see this one here picking through the crumbs.
This fondant has been in here a long time. Take that home. So it's interesting, this is where I got stung, but I got that stinger out right away and hardly got a reaction, a little bit of swelling.
That's the exact same spot I got stung last week for my first sting of the year.
Pollen there. Hive tool.
Crack of the propolis.
Come on, ladies. Time to move.
One of the things you do with the inner cover when you do it is, if it has bees on it like this, you just take it and set it right here, and oftentimes they'll walk right up and go back inside the hive.
This is another one that I left the feeder in. I obviously wasn't feeding them over the winter, but let's pull that out.
Oh, sting number 2.
Smoke it.
Pinch between my shirt.
Again, I really jammed these in there. So take the whole thing. They come with this frame next to it.
You got it, yeah? I got it.
Yeah, take it. Oh, look at the drone brood on this one.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take that one out. Break that.
Frame there? All kinds of little flies on there, see that? I walked over and there was a whole slew of them.
Probably honey on it.
Something.
Okay, here's a
little bit of sun
nice
here.
drone frame. This is a foundation list I put in last year. So they drew this out. They decided they needed some drone. And again, this is what would be in the 3rd position.
Yep.
They really propolis it. This is when I need your hive tool, Kevin.
Yeah. It is really wedged in there.
I broke open a couple of drone brood there. So a lot of drone brood on this frame. Oh, and there's worker brood on the next one, so we're getting into the brood nest.
And you can see they welded that one right to the top of the frame below it. Down there.
Yeah.
A lot of bees in this box, look.
Yeah. Let's just move this one over again. I'm just conscious of the fact that it's pretty chilly out here now.
It's pretty cold and we don't want to chill the brood.
It's spending too much time in here. We'll just take a quick look.
So this one, when you pull it up, you want to pull it straight up because it's welded.
Feel the heat.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Of course, they're losing all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty warm. You know what? We know that there's a brood and a brood nest up here, so I don't know that we need to do more.
So one of the things you could do to save the heat in the hive is this. You could just take your inner cover when it's cool and cover it over partially and go where you're going to work, right? So you could work on this frame and just leave it here, and that keeps the heat from escaping out of it. So do you want to just reverse it, or what do you want to do here?
Let's go look and see what's in the bottom. What some beekeepers will do, like Linda on her website, she uses a sheet.
Yeah.
Right? And hangs a sheet over the side and works it that way. She does that just as a matter of course, even I think during the summer.
So we know the brood is here. You want to just go look and see if there's brood in the bottom,
yeah,
and switch this one out and be done with it, right? Instead of messing around.
Yep. Yep.
So you have a number on there, FL12. What does that mean?
Foundationless 2012. So that was a frame, a foundationless frame that I put in last year. They drew it out in mostly drones. Here's another one down here, foundationless 12. That one I'm sure is full of honey.
And it's not a bad idea to be marking your frames what year you put them in, because you should really replace them at least every 4 years on a cycle. So
Many nice frames left. Here, I'll put this one in, let him finish it. Here. So here was another, this one's not marked, but this one was foundationless. Wow. Look at this one. This one doesn't even have a wedge bar in it, and they drew it out.
yeah,
Look at that.
that's pretty cool. Just goes to show when
Nice.
they're determined.
Really nice too. Look
Now
at
here we would probably want to put this in between two
Yeah.
good frames. I don't know if you have anything on this side. I'll spread this over. A lot of times when you have a problem moving something, you could drive the hive tool down through the shoulders, and once you break those shoulders, you could typically get the hives to move. And this is a great way to move all of the pieces together instead of going one by one by one. So here what I'll do is put it between two drawn frames, and when they draw that out, they'll draw it out a little more cleanly. If it had been put in the end over here, it's likely that it would not have been drawn out as cleanly. It probably would have been a little scabby. So now what he's going to do is take all 10 of the frames and just center them. I'm getting inspected again here.
Yeah, they're getting a little riled. We've probably been spending more
Here, let me
time
come over and take that one off.
than we should. Yeah.
Yeah. Set this
Really,
up.
it's not the greatest day to be doing this much with them, but we don't get up here that often. I hope that cleans. They're all acting like she's there, you know?
Yep.
Maybe she is in here. I really got to inspect this thoroughly before we take it.
So again, here's a couple frames that are really wedged together. I'm going to drive the hive tool down through the shoulder, spread it apart, get that propolis cleaned up. And you can see that right away just freed the hive up, and this frame will likely come out pretty cleanly. So that's a foundation. I don't see anything there. I'm going to put a little smoke in here.
Yeah, 3 of them that really weren't even drawn out.
Popped on the forehead again. I don't see any brood in here.
So you can see we don't even really need to take the frames out to look at them. You can see what you need to see from the top. We're not really looking for the queen, or we're not looking for signs that she's been down here laying, other than if there were capped brood or there was uncapped brood, then obviously we wouldn't want to reverse the boxes. Just break up the brood nest. But it looks like these are all empty frames. Just drawn out. Some of them aren't even drawn. We have 3 of them at the end.
Yeah, the ones on that end are not drawn.
You know what? We should fill in the ones that aren't drawn with some out of here, right? No sense me taking them home. Let's pull those
Good.
ones that aren't
Okay.
drawn,
Yep.
and we'll give them a head start. Just make sure the queen's not on here before we do that.
Nothing there.
A little
And
pollen,
nothing here.
a little
So,
pollen on this one. I'm gonna just
yeah.
put that off for me. Where do we want to put them? Let me see what else we've got over here. These are yours. We should put a honey. There's some nice honey frames here on the outside. Let's do that. Yeah, it's got a full frame honey. Put that on the outside. There's one that's partially honey and partially drawn. That'll be a good one to put next. And we'll put one or two.
No queen in the water bucket.
10 frames is tight.
Yeah, I like 9 frames. I tell you, I've switched. I've switched to 9 frames just for this reason. You got to scrape the shoulders down all the time if you're going to run 10 frames. And some hives just make a lot more propolis. I don't know.
And especially now when you haven't been in the hive all winter, they just propolized everything.
Here, let's pop this bottom box and switch it out for you.
All right, I'll clean the bottom board again.
Coming off, go.
Hive tool.
I took the box and set it on this hive. I don't particularly like to put them on the ground, usually. Now it's funny, as I see bees landing here, they have pollen on them. They're trying to come in the hive and they want to know where it went. And that's where you'll see this collection of bees flying around here, coming back to the hive, and there's nothing here. They're disoriented. But we'll get it in quick order. If you did move the hive and they came back after a while, they'd keep looking for their hive, and then eventually they just go into another one somewhere. So this is a new smoker.
Yeah, I told you what happened to my old one.
It looks brandy new.
It literally fell off the truck.
You got your little screen?
Yeah. It's gonna be tough because it's all purple. And lots of burr in there.
Let me tilt it up. Oops. They didn't like that, huh?
No, they did not. I don't know if I'm going to get it in here. Oh yeah, there we go. Little gentle persuasion.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's amazing what you can do to these poor bees. Okay, we're good. Before they really get riled.
Yeah, especially since they haven't seen that many guest appearances from us since wintertime. We're going to put some smoke in the top here before we let them sit for a second. Oh, you want to take the cover, I'll lift. I have a large bunch of bees here, so let me have a smoker instead of crushing them.
Same thing, there's a lot on the other side of this inner cover.
So you want to try to avoid crushing any bees here if you can help it. Here. You're just kind of putting light pressure on them.
So you move out of the way if you ask them nicely.
Whoops, that didn't work, did it? So the $1,000,000 question is, why aren't we getting stung? We're not really a threat, so to speak, to them. I'm sure they're not particularly happy with us, but
We used a lot more smoke than I needed to on that one.
I'm just setting it down and picking it up real gentle, not smashing any bees. and then eventually I'll just let it go.